This is the brand new Sony FX3. As if we needed another camera from Sony. We're gonna take it on the mountain, see what it can do. It's not really a mountain.
That's not a mountain.
It's not a mountain. It's a hill. Old man going snowboarding.
I'm not used to like real snow.
Tyler bailed. So far the FX3 is really fun to film with. This is the filmmaker first sort of mirrorless camera. I mean, they're putting in their cinema lineup, so it's a cinema camera. It's a very small, very powerful cinema camera. But I would say it's more like a mirrorless camera that is, for the first time, Sony's at least, filmmaker first. I thought the A7S III was filmmaker first, but this is filmmaker first. Mostly because of the way the body is.
I love the handle, and I love the LCD screen that flips out actually. Thanks, Sony.
I've learned how to snowboard since the since the fall. It's good, yeah.
Sony sent us something.
Woo! What is this? Woo!
Spill-proof coffee mug. That is handy. I've spilled coffee in my Tesla.
Thanks, Sony. I think you beat me.
Thanks, Sony. This is actually pretty nice. We could have used this on the hill, on the mountain. So essentially the FX3 is basically like the A7S III, which I've loved. That's what we're using right now. Depo, do you love it so far?
It's warming up to me.
You're warming up to it.
I'm warming up to it. Working
I'm
on
sure
it.
it's warming up to you also. Basically, it is a Sony A7S III. The guts are exactly the same. We got full frame, beautiful image, 4K up to 120 frames per second, 240, 1080. Now they have S-Cinetone colors, which they also did add to the A7S III. So that's a double yes. Colors look super good out of this thing. The biggest difference is this body. It is very different from the Sony A7S III, and this is a filmmaker first camera. They basically did this cage-free design where you don't need a cage anymore. They have these quarter 20 mounts on top, no EVF anymore, because, I don't know, do you ever use an EVF? They just took that right off. We got the flip LCD screen still.
Which is always a win.
Always a win. And we got rec lights on the front and back. Big old record button on the top. And the best part is...
The handle.
the handle feels so good in the... Here, you take this camera, I'll take this. The handle feels so good in the hand. I love this. This, like, didn't it bring you back to, like, the skate days of, like...
It was so easy to do like a low follow shot.
It was perfect for snowboarding. This wasn't even planned. We just saw snow coming, so we were like, let's go snowboarding. But this was so fun to film with. And it's also very functional, okay? Yeah, it's really nice to hold, and it's very sturdy, like, really good. But this also has, you can do 4 channels of audio using this handle. The mic doesn't come included. And what it's actually doing is that it's converting the analog signal to an electronic digital signal.
Don't ask me.
Yeah,
Those are past our qualifications.
We don't know enough about this stuff, but what I do know is that therefore you're gonna have less interference from cables and less points of failure. You're not gonna have a cable breaking. It's translating your analog audio through here into the camera electronically. That's all I know. You also don't need the handle to record audio, which is nice. You can just plug straight in. That's great. I don't want to always have to have this handle. And then we have this zoom lever thing here.
I was shocked when that thing worked. I had a prime lens on the camera and I started zooming.
I don't know what, so it says it's invalid with this lens. So I haven't really figured out how it works. I don't know how he was doing it. I don't know. I assume it was some sort of like electronic zoom that he was doing, but I don't know how you made that happen.
It looked good.
Oh, and it has a fan. It has a built-in fan, so you are never gonna have overheating like your R5. Let's not speak of the R5. And it's really nice because you can control it so it's either always on or it's on auto, or you can have it that it's only on when you stop recording. You will never have issues with overheating with this camera. So that's a big bonus. But what's the one thing it is missing?
There is no built-in ND filters.
There's no ND filters. So they have IBIS, but they don't have ND filters. I kind of really wish it had ND filters, but you know, using an ND filter is pretty easy to put on there versus not having IBIS and having to use a gimbal.
I would take IBIS over the ND filters any day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, same. I do wish though that it did have ND filters. That's probably the only thing this camera is missing right now. That part, are you gonna be switching to the FX3?
if you get me one, I will.
That's not an answer. Of course you're gonna switch if I
It's a great camera for sure.
The FX3, it's really interesting. This is the first true mirrorless filmmaker first camera that I've seen from Sony. Whereas the a7S III, even though the guts are the same, it's still a photographer first camera. You can tell by things like the EVF and just the form factor and all that. This is a filmmaker first camera, even though it can still take those same photos like the a7S III. Now you might be asking, is this gonna cost me way more than the Sony a7S, which is already fairly expensive? Well, depends, I guess, what your budget is. This is gonna cost $3,899, whereas the Sony a7S, I believe, is $3,500. So about $400 more for everything that you're getting with the fan and the body, and then this top handle, no mic included. So for some people, that doesn't seem like that much more. For other people, that could be like make it or break it. I'm just gonna go for the Sony a7S III because I'm gonna save $400 and maybe I don't really need this top handle. But I think for me, I think this is gonna be the way to go. I'm probably gonna buy at least this and pair it with my Sony a7S III, and then we'll see, do I just get rid of the Sony a7S III and just get another one of these, because I kind of need two of these just in case things happen, things break, and then sometimes you need to do this sort of thing where you need to film and, you know, two cameras. And that concludes this very in-depth review of the Sony FX3. Great camera. I feel like this happens every single time we film a video. We clean up, and then just things get demolished and it's just a mess in here. Happy FX3 day.
Throwing some hairy chest.